Lebanese cuisine is a mixture of Turkish and French. That's why our mixture is very unique in the Middle East. And when I made up my restaurant, I made it as Middle Eastern cuisine and European look. The Maza in our language is the feast, means feast. The Maza is the 22 miniature plates. We serve hot and cold appetizers, Lebanese tapas. That's why in all the Arabic countries, when you go in the Middle East, you will see restaurants that say, we serve the Lebanese Maza, because it's the most famous in Lebanon. Because lots of customers that say, Joe, why you work on the floor? Because I want to be involved in everything I do in my place. I want to make sure that every customer who walks into Maza will leave the place happy and recommend Maza to all their friends. And I would be more than happy to serve them myself.
So Juan, you say that the food and service at Maza never disappoints. Tell us why you chose it.
Well, I like it. My grandparents were from Lebanon, from my mom's side. And so I like the food. I grew up with the food. And I wanted to take this friend of mine who also has Lebanese grandparents because he was coming to Chicago. And I asked, everybody said go to Maza. I went there, and when you have the owner and his son as waiters, there's a big difference in the service. Whatever they recommend for the special, take it, because it is phenomenal. You won't be disappointed.
Well, the name Maza actually kind of gives you an insight to what style of food it is. Maza is meza or tapa style of eating.
Yeah.
And traditionally in Lebanese cuisine, you'll start off with a bunch of tapas or meza, and then move on to the main course. Now, Maureen, how was your experience for you?
It was wonderful, and the thing is, I'd never had Lebanese food before, and I'm fairly adventurous when it comes to food, so I invited one of my girlfriends who has traveled through the Middle East and who really does enjoy Lebanese food. And it was great. It was great. We had a few different appetizers. I was really impressed. Well, we had the spinach pie, which was wonderful because I love dough and anything with cheese in it. And then we had the kibbeh, I think it was balls of cracked wheat stuffed with lamb and scallions.
Well, Juan, you said they do the kibbeh 3 different ways.
Yes, they do it fried, which is what you have.
Right,
and I have
exactly,
that
which was
too.
fabulous. It was really
Then they make
good.
it baked, and they make it raw. And my mom used to make it, and raw doesn't sound all that good until you try it. And then you won't go back.
Wow.
Now, Mike, is raw kibbeh something you would try?
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting to go there because I would have never picked that.
Yeah.
And my sister lives in Lincoln Park, and she wouldn't have picked it. But it was interesting to go there and experience all it, because one of the things that struck me was just about everything that was either ordered or recommended had a link to health of some respect.
And as a periodontist, you
Oh,
have
I
to
can
appreciate
I
it.
can respect that, and it was very interesting that the knowledge of each item was relayed to us by Yosef. It was
Did
really
you ask
very,
about it, or they
no,
just
they
volunteered
just
that?
volunteered, but not pretentiously, but
Right,
just
right.
included it.
And remember, these cultures, these people have been around for a long, long time.
Exactly.
So they have learned what's good for you and what's not good. The Lebanese food typically is very, very healthy. Unless you go to Arak and drink too much. That's another problem.
I'm so glad that you brought up Arak, because Arak is the national drink of Lebanon. And it's very simple to pastis and Pernod, and it's an anise liqueur, which sort of replaced absinthe before it was outlawed. But you actually mix it with water and ice, and it turns like this milky color. It's a beautiful, refreshing drink, but not too much.
And you should mix it with water, trust me.
Okay. Well, one of the things too I liked is that in this day and age of just a lot of suspicion of the Middle East, to go to a restaurant like we went to and had such wonderful service
They were
and
so
exploring new
great.
food. And let's say it's food we all know, but it was prepared in just nicer, different ways that kind of enhanced flavors.
Well, I find with cultures that have experienced diversity, especially the food tends to be, the more difficulty the culture has experienced, the more comforting the food is.
Very true.
We do. You use food as a time of sharing, as a time of comforting. And there is diversity because there is the influence from France. You can see in the artwork around that Chagall style
Wasn't
frames
it
that
gorgeous?
they got. Yeah.
we talked to him after we were leaving the restaurant because it's very themed. It's a whole love story. And it starts on one side of the restaurant and goes all the way around. And my friend was really taken with the pieces. And the thing is, obviously, he didn't know that we were from Check Please, but he just spent time just chatting with us and talking about the artist. And the owner was obviously so proud of the artwork and the decor of the place. It was really neat. And I love those kinds kinds of experiences because, again, it's like if I hadn't been on the show, it might not have been a place I would ever have known
I
existed.
agree with
And I
that.
love
that's why
finding
we-
that.
That's why you do this. So
Exactly.
all you,
That's very Lebanese, the going around a circle of a story and things like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
that's cool.
And I was telling you about the arak, which is good food for your soul, but nothing else. But because of the French influence, they are really knowledgeable about wines. And again, they've been making wines. All that area has been making
The
wines.
Lebanese
forever.
wine was
the
fabulous.
Lebanese red wine.
It was
yes,
really
it was very
good.
good.
Oh, there's a huge wine industry in Lebanon, the Bekaa Valley. It's an amazing sort of, like you said, that French influence as far as even their grape
That
varieties
is so
are.
great. See, I never
Bordeaux.
would have known that, and that's the kind of thing that I love when I find this sort of thing out about a restaurant.
we had a ringer in the crowd because my wife's brother has a friend who he's dating, and she went to school in Lebanon, and that's her
wow.
favorite restaurant. And she says, "I'm not going to influence you, but I'm going to help you." And so we ordered cold appetizers, hot appetizers,
Oh,
and
that's
we even
fun.
ordered a dinner of the stuffed grape leaves.
Those were my favorite. When I was a kid, I could eat
Really?
those
Oh,
forever. And please don't forget to pour the lemon on top of it.
That's
Not
right.
a
Oh,
kid.
yes.
exactly what I was
Because
told.
Lots of
brings up
lemon
the
in
flavor.
the
Yes.
dishes, yeah.
God forbid.
Literally, she does. My friend told me, she goes, "No, you put the lemon on this," and she was like, "I had it's like I was in my office and I had a dental assistant. It's like she was my assistant. She said, put the lemon on that,
There
doc."
was a lot of lemon. There was definitely a lot of lemon.
Well, Juan, this is your selection. Give us a summary.
Go with a date. The service is outstanding. When you have the owner and his son as waiters, I dare you to be for 1 minute without somebody looking at you if you're looking for somebody. It just won't happen.
It's a gorgeous place. It's stylish. It's chic, but it's incredibly comfortable. The kind of place you can sit for 3 hours and enjoy for as long as you like.
I found it an eye-opener, so to speak. I really was pleasantly surprised. I was tentative at first, not knowing what some of the dishes were, and upon exposure to them, I would go back and recommend it.
You can try the flavorful food and experience at Maza, 2748 North Lincoln, 773-929-9600. They're open for dinner every day of the week. Reservations are accepted, and the average dinner tab without drinks is $22 per person.